All right, y'all, it's finally here. My brand new boat for the 2022 season. 2022 season, that is. It is this Triton XRT, not the TRX. The TRX is what I've been running for the last couple of years. XRT, and first off, I had to copy DC. Dustin ran these colors last year. I'm like, dude, let me get them colors. So I copied his boat. We both have the same color boat. Hopefully it adds some luck, you know, because Dustin's had a pretty solid year so far, winning a tournament, having good tournaments every single. It seems like he's having a pretty good year. So I'm not saying we haven't had one, but we're gonna hope this one has some good luck in it. First off, let's jump into what makes the XRT a little bit different than the TRX.
Let's go.
We're here in Mexico. We are in the Dominican Republic. So I'm gonna tell you a couple different tips that have helped me over the years.
Wow! Unbelievable! Jacob Wheeler makes history!
So the first thing you're gonna see is like, this thing is like, it's big. Like it is a big size. I mean, it's like almost like a wall, I wouldn't say walleye, but it has a lot more hull that is basically keeping you out of the water. I'm assuming it's going to lift a little bit better. I know I've talked to Dustin a little bit about it, but I wanted to keep an open mind. I didn't want to hear anything that might tell me, hey, it's great or it's not so great. So I wanted to sort of see, it's going to be a boat run through, but it's also going to be a boat test. So I'm going to go out there on the water and I'm going to see exactly what I think about this boat. First time ever dropping the boat in the water. So now I'm not going to open it up wide open because I've not broke this thing in, but I'm going to show you guys at least what my thoughts are, first take on what this boat really can do. So one thing I do like off the rip, hey, I got a little setup right there for getting your gas right in the center. It's off the side, like it's fine, but that just sort of makes it easy. Other thing off the top of the deal, on the trailer side of things, I chose to have a parking brake. So this thing right here, if you are looking at getting, and it's an upgrade, I'm almost positive, to have a power brake, parking brake, and that basically just locks it in place to where you don't need chocks, basically what it is. Now, I'm gonna test it on a hill, and if it goes down, I'll tell you not to get it. But I'll be the test dummy. I've actually had some good luck with it. They've had them on Rangers for years. They had that opportunity to put them on the Tritons as well, so I rolled with it. All right, so I got some low profile tires on this bad dude. These are Summits. I did not trick him out or anything crazy, but he's pretty good looking right off the rip. The only thing I will say this, running through drive-throughs with low profile tires and rims, disaster. We travel on the road all the time, and sometimes we're sort of in a pinch, kind of got a bite to eat, last minute, get off the water at 9 o'clock, only thing's open is a Taco Bell. Not a good look. Facts. You know if you did that. So back to the boat real quick here. I put 10-foot blades. That is my choice, my power pole choice. 8-footers are great, but 10-footers, 2-foot a little bit more, just a little bit more to get down there a little bit deeper, especially when you're on grass flats, summertime. Now, that is just something that's a must for me. On the back of the boat, the 250 Pro XS, man, what can I say about this motor? It's been flawless for me last season. I put it through everything you possibly could. I swapped my gear case oil out several times to make sure I kept up with that with a 4-stroke. You need to do that every 50 hours. I'm not gonna say I did it every 50 hours on the dot, but I kept it pretty close. And I never had a single hiccup the whole season. I've been running that same 2021 boat this whole season, not have a single hiccup yet. So truly impressed with that motor and that 4-stroke. It's unbelievable. It truly is. As far as this little dude right here, this is a leash. If you hit a stump or basically try to rip your motor off, this thing sort of locks it up in there to where it'll lock it to that jack plate to where for some reason if it breaks loose your jack plate or breaks loose, it won't ultimately kick up into your boat. And that to me is just another safety feature to where we run a lot of stuff that's actually probably we should not run. And so that is something to me that makes a lot of sense to have. It's not a huge investment, but it could mean your life or death. It really could. It's something that you wouldn't think, but I added it to there as well because I felt like that's something that makes sense and I need to have. I do have the Bob's Machine Shop hydraulic jack plate. this bad dude, I've been running a Bob's Machine Shop jack plate for several years now. I want to say this is my 5th or 6th year. Fastest, most well-built jack plate on the market for me. The one thing that you're going to have to do, make sure you do on a Bob's Machine Shop jack plate, is just keeping greasing the jack plate itself, where it goes up and down a little bit more. It's a little bit easier. You keep that right there about every, I don't know, I do it every couple weeks, which is just maintenance. But overall it's just flawless. When you do that a little bit quick, something put it in the actual running inserts right there. It's very simple. It runs good. It's fastest getting up and down, being able to get up out on pad and in shallow waters, a must. As far as transducers go, I've run a 2-in-1 transducer in the back, and I got a Humminbird. I don't know if the transducer is different on the Helix or the Solix, but I'm running both of those on each side of the jack plate. If you're trying to run two transducers on your boat, make sure to level them out. Like, you don't want them one offset, because then it'll ultimately, I mean, most of you will know this, but if you have one further down than the other, then you're ultimately not going to be able to see. Someone's side imaging is not going to work correctly. So that's just a quick hint on that side of things. Now Triton, as always, this little dude right here could save your life. They have had this set up in their boats. The ladder, let me get this little dude right here, boom. So let me grab him out. So if you're out of the boat, you fall out of the boat, which could happen quite a bit. I've had it happen like maybe twice in my career, but it happens. And so having that feature right there in the back of the boat, it's one thing that's always made the Tritons. I always love that feature on a Triton. It's something that's just another safety precaution. You can get to the back of the boat, you can get back up in there, especially when it's cold outside. We're starting to get into summertime right now, or you have a family on the boat, they want to get back in the boat, or yourself jumping in for a swim, trying to cool off. It's a great feature. You don't have to worry about struggling getting up in the boat. You can just pull that thing out, and then it's super simple. You put those little latches in, boom, locked in. So all you have to do is pull them up, out, locked in right there. It's not going anywhere. Something that I feel like is underrated, and I have to tell you guys this real quick here. One thing that I think is underrated in any bass boat, period, is this flow right plug, okay? In, out. How many times have you got out in the water and forgot you didn't put the plug in? It happens all the time. Don't BS. You know it's happened to you. One thing, that is like a must. If you don't have that in your boat right now, whatever brand you're running, good investment. Just at the end of the day, I personally, it helps me like not have a peace of mind knowing if I did drop it in, I just boop. Don't have to put it back on the trailer. Don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Just go. No big deal. First thing, these seats, nice. I feel like I have a little support here. It feels pretty good. I like it. I swapped my graphs out, went with a Humminbird Solix and then an HDS 12 Live in the back. We'll dive more into why I did that later on in another video, an electronics video, and diving into that. Now, I also decided to go with a BoatLogix mount on my dual mount, and they make great mounts. BoatLogix is here in Chattanooga. They make a lot of great quality products, but they make mounts and mounts for 360s and a lot of different things. But ultimately for me, this mount right here is a bad dude. It is locked in there, and as much torture as I put my boats through in a year's time, I've never had any issues with their mounts, and it's always locked them in solid and secure. Now, the one thing, if you do get an XRT, you can dash mount, but for me, it came to a point where having them in the dash, you're locked into one angle. Now, if you're not graphing all the time, or you're not spending 400 hours a year out there in the water utilizing your grouse and doing that, then I maybe that's the suggestion that I would roll with. If you're going out there once every couple weeks and whatnot. But for me personally, having the option to really adjust my grass and the angles of them, that's important to me. So that's why I chose the Boat Logics in the back. The really unique thing about this boat right here, though, is you're going to notice there's not any gauges, okay? So you have no gauges back here. Like there's only one gauge that I have over here to the left. That's my Bob's Machine Shop jack plate gauge. And right here you have this is like a Raymarine. I still have to learn how to use this thing. So this is like my first time. I'm not even joking. So power's here, power's here. What's up, man? Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Right now.
Good, everything's good, yeah. All right, so cool to see a fellow fisherman, a fan of the channel. So what I was going back to right here is I have a Raymarine. This is like your whole system set up for all your switches, all your gauges, all that stuff runs through this Raymarine setup. So I'm gonna dive into this a little bit out there on the water. I don't know exactly what to expect. Obviously, this is the thing. There's been so many things that there's been advancements in technology have happened for years with your cell phones and everything else, okay? So I don't know, I think, this is finally towards that point where are we gonna make advancements? You try and true with your switches, or do you go with advancements like here? This is something that is like almost like that iPhone. It's sort of like your truck. I mean, like you have Apple CarPlay in your vehicles, a lot of new vehicles now. It's getting better and better. So seeing this here, it's definitely different, but I'm gonna sort of see how much I like it. I think it's gonna take a little bit getting used to because you're so used to switch, turn this on, that, and everything else. Everything is run through one system. So it could be really cool. But I'm gonna give you guys an update at the end of the season, sort of what my thoughts are on it. And if it runs flawlessly, heck, I don't know why I wouldn't like it. So that is the setup back here. When I look at just sitting in these seats, man, they definitely feel good. They're supported pretty good. Like the big thing with a lot of us fishermen traveling all over the country, hitting big waves, you want that support in your back. And this has that. It's not like a leaning seat. So like I'm sitting up pretty straight. That's gonna help me not go to the chiropractor every week when I'm running around for sure. Another thing that I will say, in that Triton, another thing that I will say, right here, center seat, they did, so in the TRXs, one thing that was a little bit, like it was sometimes tough because we had a little bit less room here. So sometimes that lid will rub. They actually put like little holders right here where you actually hold your handle, a handle right there for, beep, handle, like one of those moments for both your co-angler or your partner and yourself if you're trying to run with one hand. And that also makes it where this is going to close, very simple and easy every time. It's a little bit shallower there, but that's one thing. I did add some speakers, a sound system into this boat. That's solid. And then, yeah, I mean, I like it, man. It seems pretty straightforward. The only other thing that I will say up here at the cockpit that I really like is a wireless charger in your boat. Inside here, I'll just show you guys this. There's a wireless charger right there. You put your phone in there, it's charging. I don't have to worry about all that stuff. That's nice to have in my boat and my truck. Put it in there. How many times have you got out there on the water and you're like, dang it, I forgot my charger, my phone's half charged. That is a great feature. Really good job, really smart. I like that idea. All right, I also am gonna run a hot foot in here. I've just always run a hot foot, and so that, to me, it's like driving a car, but except you don't really have brakes. That's the thing. That's basically, for you guys that don't know what a hot foot is, it's basically a gas pedal for your boat, pretty much. Use them for your Mercuries, ready to roll. Now, as far as live wells go, look to be as deep as my other ones, and they're pretty solid. They got an oxygenator in there, always good. I do like the way that they put this mold, like this this plastic little like molding piece around your live wells, like it's not as sharp as the edge. So like, I mean, there's times I'm still fishing 5-fish limit tournaments around the house, and that's nice. I like that. It's not gonna mess anything up right there. It seems real sleek and clean. Let's see here. The back of the boat. Open up these compartments. Big giant bag stuff. Okay, really cool deal they have set up here. Really like this, okay? One of the worst things, this is how new the boat is. I literally haven't even took the film off. Number one, a lot of the TRXs and a lot of boats in the market these back compartments are plastic. This is all fiberglass, has a light right there, really cool looking light. I don't know how great the light is, but we're gonna see. And they have a metal plate right here on the inside. That is really cool, because what happens a lot of times, okay, you get in a hurry, okay? You have your call tags in there, whatever it might be. You close the lid like that. What happens when you do that? Normally on a lot of other boats, you scratch the fiberglass it's horrible. So now, instead of that, they have a metal plate right here. You shut it, and there's a little slot in that metal plate. You don't have to worry about that anymore. That's a really good idea. In the back, let's see what I got here. I have not added my lithium batteries in here. I do run Miller Techs, so I'm gonna take those Miller Techs that I've been running out of the back of my boat for the last year. They've been running flawless. I've run a couple different batteries out there on the market, lithium batteries. Actually, 2 different brands that I've run. And Miller Tech, to me, is the best for at least what I've done. The setup is, I mean, they've done a great job, and they've really got a good solid battery. Connell runs them, Mark Daniels runs them, I run them, Adrian runs them. That's a really, really solid battery. So I'm gonna run 3 12s and then a backup 36, and then 2 Miller Techs right here, marine batteries. The one thing I did have set up right here is a Sea Clear power harness. That is something, if you guys have not heard me talk about that, Sea Clear power harness, they really, all it is basically getting clean power to your grass. You're gonna get the optimal amount of power to those graphs, and a lot of these graphs do not run that great when you don't have higher voltages. You don't have when you have interferences or interference ultimately throughout your wiring, that can really mess you up. It's independent wiring to your graphs that allows them to get the most out of your image. So a big deal with active target and forward-facing sonar is clean power. If you want your best image you possibly can get, highly suggest that Sea Clear power harness. They do a phenomenal job. That it works really well. I'm not gonna say this, okay? I'm not gonna say you're going to be, this is a really good, people always ask me this question. So on a scale of like 1 to 10, like how much better your unit's gonna read? I would say this, it's a good range. So on forward-facing sonar, if you're trying to do it for that, I say I could see my jerk bait at 70 feet, and if I didn't have it, I'd see it at 50 feet. So give you a little bit of a range. Like, it adds that maybe a 20% difference of clarity for me on my side scan, on my down scan. I don't seem to have as much interference because I don't have as many wires connected to one thing. It seems to cut down on those things. So that's why I run a Sea Clear power harness, and that's why I run one in this boat. So I have 2 12-volt starting batteries. I have one for my starting battery, and they're basically run in parallel. So they drain down the same levels, they build up the same levels. So I have one for starting, one for my, well, they're both connected, but they're starting it, and they are also, all of my Sea Clear power harness goes up there to all my units and that Ray Marine deal. So that is the back right here. Cool deal with XRT. I like the way they have this open up as well. How many times are you opening up your lid and it comes up right here and you're trying to dig in there and it's falling back? That's so annoying. This boat, they actually did this thing right here. I like it a lot. As well, as far as my charger goes, I am running a power pole charge. That's a must. I mean, to me, It's not a must. I'm not gonna say you have to have it, but for me, I've had really good luck with it, and that's what's all that really matters. So I'm gonna see how this hold up here. So right here, they don't have a metal plate, so you're gonna make sure they don't have the metal plate right there. So you're gonna make sure you don't. Hey, don't be shutting your dang deal the opposite way. You're gonna crack the heck out of your fiberglass there. Okay, cup holders. They did add USB port right here, cool. All right, so we're gonna move towards the front and deck. But first off, before I do that, this is a pretty cool little setup right here. This little dude goes in and out. It has like a little, basically like a little backup storage deal right here. I'm trying to think maybe put like some sunglasses, backup, something that you need to grab quick. This is actually some stuff for my power, for my back when I set up those batteries. That's how new this boat is. It's like brand new. Obviously this right here is gonna look a whole lot different after a practice day. You're gonna have 50 crankbaits. And this little material right here actually is pretty cool because I can actually maybe hook my crankbait onto that. It might look a little bit different in the year. I might have to call up Triton and ask them to send me another one, but that's gonna be cool, like to add that right there. I don't have to, maybe not to worry about it popping out or whatnot. Cup holder, measuring stick, all that. And the one thing that you're gonna see at this deck is huge. I mean, I'm 6 foot tall. I'm 5'11 3/4, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. 5'11 3/4, but it is like huge. So that gives me plenty of room to be able to get whatever hey, if I don't have enough room up here on this front deck, then it's my own fault. But that thing it's set up. Now in the center compartment, there's one box, so just very much so like, so there's one box, center compartment. So when I put all my tackle up in here, you have your option to run your center box, so you can put like your rods in there, or you can put them on this left-hand side. But yeah, I always put my tackle in here. I just like it set up wise. I'm a big fan of the single box. I know there's anglers that like two boxes up front split, where they can like sort of have two compartments. But for me, I think it's like wasting a little space. But I run a lot of tackle. I have a lot of tackle. So now as far as the rod box goes, let me undo this, guys. Okay, see, I like this right here. The off the rip. So the one thing that I don't like in my boats off the rippy is those little holders that you have like in the center box. Go like with those rod holders that have those tubes, you literally break your rods. Like you break the rod tips so easy. Or like the guides, like when you're pulling them in and out. That's really cool. They actually set this up to where there are no inserts. So you literally can just lay them in there. You have your rod socks or your rod sleeves or whatever you're using, and I can just slide them in there. Typically I can put about 35 rods and reels in one of these boxes. So that gives you an I mean, you're not gonna use up all that space. I mean, I will, but most people won't. So that is good to go. Oh, and they also put that plate right here as well. Okay, they did that again. They put that plate right there. I'm taking these stickers off, I'm learning. Which is another really cool feature. Again, I've done it 100 times. Hitting that right there, that's good. I'm gonna try not to. I've not done it 100 times, but I've done it several times where I'm like, go! Let's see if I did. Yep, they did the same thing here. Okay. Okay, Triton, I see you. Thinking a little bit, man. Using that engineering mindset to do something with their life. Okay, yep. Okay, so basically good, quick setup right there. I have put some deck lights on here. I roll with the Ultrex, the 45-inch shaft, Humber 360, active target at 12-inch live on the bottom right, 12-inch live up top. I have a Helix 12 for 360. And we will dive more into the electronics. And real quick here before I get into, forget about that, Boat Logic's mount, again, it's a triple mount. It's fire. It's a really good mount. I can adjust it. There's so many options to adjust exactly what you personally want. You can adjust it personally for exactly. I can add little features to it. I can add there's just so many cool things you can do with them. So check those guys out, Boat Logics. But we'll dive more into the electronic side of things and why I chose this setup. But this is the boat. This is the boat we're running with the whole season. The 2021 or 2022 Triton XRT 21 footer. let's go take it to the lake and see what this bad boy has to offer. I'm gonna go see what's up. I wanna see what's up with that Raymarine thing. I wanna see if this boat runs, how it lifts, all that stuff. Let's go. We are out here on the lake. We're about to take off. First time. Woo, that Mercury. You ready, Brody? Brody, you ready? All right, let's go. Off the rip, hold up. Okay, so I had that up high. Let's try that again. Quick note real quick here. Don't try to take off when you have your jack plate all the way up. I try to go, normally on my TRX, I'll go like, I keep them at 1, basically. Like, I don't want them all the way down, I don't want them all the way up. I don't want them all the way down, I just want them up a little bit. Here we go, ready? Pretty solid. Pretty solid. All right. I'm gonna turn him off. The one thing you don't want to do, one thing you do not want to do a whole lot of when you first hit your motor is to idle a whole lot. You're trying to, so I was trying to vary the RPMs from basically 4,000 to 5,200 or whatever it is. I think it's like somewhere around 4,000-ish, 4,000 to 5,000. Trying to keep that motor down and keep it and varying the RPMs and making that thing really work for it. But anyway, so I can't give you guys a full like rundown of what I think what's up with the boat yet. I can't. Now, I will tell you this. If you're a TRX owner, and the one I do love about this boat off the rip is it runs flat, so when I'm idling or running around at a lower speed, I don't have that lean necessarily like a traditional TRX, which I mean, but I don't know top speed yet. But it feels like it runs like, just getting the first view of that, I really do like, I like the boat off the rip. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I like the feel of it. I'll have an update in my videos. If you guys continue to follow along, I'll have an update in my videos. But off the rip, I'm pumped about this boat. The look of the boat, I gotta get wrapped this week, but it's set up pretty well. Now, the next thing that we have to talk about though, Brody, right here, you can put your nav lights. Everything's controlled right here. So just playing with it, you have a picture of your boat, if you can see that. So if I want lights, okay, lights on my floor, that lights up my floor. First fish, see what's going on. Does that do it? So navigational lights, all you have to do is tap the front and the back. They all go on it together, off the rip, that's cool. Heck yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm looking down through here just to make sure I understand it, but you have all of your engine, like hours right here, your whole deal, your fuel. I mean, just to have that all right there, it just keeps everything a little bit, it does your depth too. Huh. Okay. I'll have to give you guys an update on this one as well, but off the rip, I'm gonna tell you this. Man, hit those waves, like, man, it feels good. Gosh, it feels good. Now, I turned on the Raymarine, like, computer mastermind deal. So, the cool feature it does have is, hold up, that's first fish. There it is, first fish up top. All right, so when you get your first fish, literally it fills your Livewell up, you're ready to go. That is a cool feature. You gotta give them that. Okay. I can put them on auto. Easy. Bilge pump. No more spraying, who we spray? Coal Floyd. Sorry, Cole, for that. We sprayed Coal Floyd on the coldest day of the year for literally out the side. So like the bilge pump shoots out the back instead of the sides. So no more spraying Coal Floyd at Takeoff. Sabotaging them off the rip. Okay. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's pretty seamless. this boat's pretty freaking legit. Obviously, you love new boats. To be honest with you, a lot of times us anglers, we're very lucky. We're very fortunate to be able to have a new boat. A lot of times, almost every year. This year it took a little bit longer. Everything's been taking longer to get trucks, boats, everything it has. It's just hard for these companies to get a lot of the equipment, but thankfully we have it now. It's gonna make its debut at Lake of the Ozarks. We got some work to do before it's completely ready to roll for that event, but I'm really pumped about it. Overall, you guys got to see my new boat. Big shout out to Weedus Marine for rigging all of my electronics, all my whole boat out. A lot of things went into this, and they always really the only people I trust to make sure it's ready to go and in tip-top shape off the rip. So thank you guys so much. We are gonna run this thing around a little bit more and get this thing broke in, so that way next time you see us, I'll be able to tell you what top speed is on this sucker. Swap out some props. We gotta go. See ya. Is